It's night phase, and as you can see, all the vampires are awake. We've flipped the vampire ID cards to show the night side. To complete the objective for this hunt, we need to activate one more lever to open the blue door to the room with the vampire lord, and then rescue the two humans in the room. Let's start with Sarah. She is in an area with a burrower. During the night phase, turns are reversed, and vampires go first. So before activating their hunter, the players draw and resolve a vampire activation card from the night deck. Let's draw a night vampire activation card for Sarah now. An Upir comes out from tunnel access number 1. Then all the vampires in Sarah's area attack her. The burrower we saw earlier attacks. As shown on its ID card, the burrower rolls 2 dice and needs a 4 or more to hit. It rolls a pair of 6s. The burrower has the special ability that when it gets 2 6s, it makes a second attack against the same hunter. This time it rolls a 6 and a 2 for 1 more hit. So Sarah receives 3 wounds in total. No other actions are indicated on the activation card, so it's time for Sarah's turn. Her first action is to attack the burrower with her wooden stake. She rolls 3 dice and needs a 5 or more to hit. She rolls a 5, a 3, and a 2. So she gets just 1 hit. Unfortunately, the burrower has a shield, so the hit is absorbed by it. The burrower is pretty tough, and Sarah's basic attack with the wooden stake is not great. She needs a more powerful weapon, so she's going to use the axe staff that she has built in a previous turn. Sarah rolls the dice and gets 3 hits, and nothing on the breakage die. The weapon is still intact. The burrower is destroyed, and Sarah gains 1 focus point. With her last action, she moves into the tunnel. She knows that Joshua will activate the last lever this round, and she wants to be nearer the vampire lord, so she can attack it soon. Let's switch to Joshua now. Again, we draw the vampire activation card first. Stalking and fighting vampires 1 area from Joshua move into his area. There is a giant bat fighting Stefan here, and this card tells us to move it into Joshua's area. Also, this thrall is 1 area away, so it moves too. Next on the vampire activation card, it says all the vampires in Joshua's area attack him. The first to attack in initiative order is the thrall. It rolls 3 dice and gets 1 hit. Joshua takes 1 wound. Next, the giant bat attacks. It rolls 2 dice and needs a 4 or more. Joshua is lucky this time. The giant bat didn't get any hits. The last section of the card is for more general movement. All the vampires that are 3 or more areas from the nearest hunter move 2 areas toward the nearest hunter. This guardian is no further than 3 areas from Sarah, and it moves 2 areas towards her. Now it's time for Joshua to activate. Time is running out, so Joshua wants to pull the last lever to open the blue door as part of the hunt objective. So instead of attacking, his first action is to move towards this lever. When moving away from an area containing vampires, hunters spend 2 movement points. So when Joshua moves, he used the whole move action to get to the adjacent area. With his second action, he moves into the area with the lever, and for his last action, he activates the lever. The lever token is flipped to show the green side, and Joshua takes 1 focus point. There is a reminder on the token. The blue door is now open. Stefan is the 3rd hunter to go, but we must let him activate the vampires first. Let's draw the vampire activation card. On the first line, there is something helpful for the hunters. Stefan must make a faith test and roll a 5 or more. If he passes, 1 vampire of his choice does not activate this turn. Stefan rolls 1 die as shown on his ID card and gets a 6, a pass. He decides that this warrior does not activate this turn. The second section of the card says that all stalking vampires 1 area from Stefan move into his area. This Upir is 1 area away, so it moves to Stefan. Also, these 2 vampires move into Stefan's area. The third box says all the vampires attack the current hunter. The first in initiative order is the thrall. It rolls 3 dice and needs a 5 or more. It gets 1 hit, so Stefan takes 1 wound. The second to go is the giant bat. It rolls 2 dice and needs a 4 or more. It rolls a 1 and a 3. Nothing happens. Finally, it's time for the Upir. During the night, the Upir rolls 4 dice and needs a 5 or more to hit. It only rolls 3 during the day. It rolls and gets 6, 4, 1, 6. The Upir gets a double 6, and as written on its ID card, it heals 1 wound and makes 1 additional hit. Stefan receives a total of 3 wounds. After the attack, Stefan's health is reduced to 1, so he must be careful or he will turn into a vampire. Now the last step, movement for vampires all over the board. Vampires 3 or more areas away from any hunters move 2 areas toward the nearest hunter. No vampires satisfy the condition, so there is no movement. Stefan gets his turn. He spends his first action to attack with the garlic gas. The hits rolled for the garlic gas are applied to all vampires in the area. Stefan rolls 2 dice and needs 4 or more. He gets an amazing result, 5 and 6. 2 hits destroy the thrall. Then the giant bat takes 2 hits. One is absorbed by its shield, but the second is enough to destroy it. Stefan gets 1 focus point. Finally, the Upir is gassed. The Upir has 3 life points, so it's not destroyed. 2 wound tokens are placed near the Upir figure to keep track of the damage. Stefan's second action is to attack the Upir with his wooden stake. He rolls 3 dice and gets 1 hit, enough to destroy the damaged Upir. Stefan gets 2 focus points. With his last action, he moves into the tunnel toward Sarah. Sarah has the special healing ability. Next turn, she may use this to heal Stefan. The last hunter to take their turn is Magenta, and she draws a vampire activation card. All the vampires, both fighting and stalking 1 area away from her, move into her area. This warrior is 1 area away, so it moves. Now, all the vampires in her area attack. The warrior rolls 3 dice and needs a 5 or more to hit. The result is 5, 2, and 4. Magenta gets 1 wound. The general move section says to pick vampires 3 or more areas away from each hunter, but there are no vampires at that distance, so we just skip it. Let's activate Magenta. She attacks the warrior using the saw blade axe she previously built. She rolls 6 dice and needs a 5 or more. It's fragile, so she rolls the breakage die as well. She gets 2 hits and the broken icon. The weapon hits, but it is busted. The warrior takes 2 wounds and is destroyed. Magenta gains a focus point, but loses the broken saw blade axe. With her second action, she moves into the Elder's area so she can attack him with her last action. She is going to use the wooden stake so she can activate the special effect by spending 1 focus point. This gives her 1 reroll. Every time a hunter attacks an Elder after having declared the weapon they are going to use, they must draw and resolve an Elder Influence card. The Elder is powerful and tries to dominate the mind of the hunter. The card requires a faith test at 5 or more. If Magenta passes the test, she can proceed with the attack. But if she fails the test, the Elder draws defense from her lack of faith. She must add 1 shield to the Elder for this attack. Magenta has strong faith. She rolls 2 dice for faith tests. She rolls a 3 and a 6, so she passes and can attack without any impediment. She rolls a 1, 4, and 5 for her attack. She may re-roll 1 die as she triggered the special ability. She re-rolls the 1 result and gets a 6. She deals 3 wounds to the Elder, and because she rolled a 6 against an Elder, she also receives 1 focus point. The round is over, and the clock marker is moved forward by 1 spot. A new round begins, but we'll leave the rest of the game to you, hunters. It's time to kill some vampires.